Hi, I'm Diane Conaway. I've lived in Valley Center for 20 years now. I thought it was important to share information about Proposition SS that is coming up on the ballot. So I've asked Joe Napier, who is the fire chief for the Valley Center Fire Protection District, to join me today in just an honest conversation about Prop SS. So Joe, can you tell our viewers a little bit about the premise?
Absolutely, and thank you, Diane. I've been a resident for 20 years also in Valley Center, yeah. And so the premise behind Measure SS is for the Valley Center Fire Protection District to grow responsibly as a community grows responsibly. And that's been our promise all along. And so as we've seen our community thrive and new homes come into the community and new businesses come into the community, the fire department has to be able to answer those calls for service and keep pace with that. And so what Measure SS gives us the ability to do is add a $180 special parcel tax. So as those parcels split and those developments occur, we're able to grow exponentially as the community grows. So we believe that the developers should play a part in that growth as well. But as new taxpayers come into the community, they should also pay their fair share towards the impact on services.
Absolutely. And so my understanding is that it will be just a special line item on the property tax bill. Is that correct?
That is correct. You will no longer have to write a check to the Franchise Tax Board for the state fire prevention fee. That's been repealed, and all of that money's been moved over to cap and trade. So CAL FIRE is going to be able to keep their fire prevention money. It's going to come out of another account. And so what we're asking is we're asking the community to leave that in their budget and pay into a local initiative where all the funds stay locally or locally controlled, where our citizens have a say through their electeds of what happens with that money. And so it's really, really important for everybody to understand that that money that they're going to be paying out of their property line item is not going to go to the county, it's not going to go to the state, it's going to come directly to the Valley Center Fire Protection District.
So the previous tax, if you want to call it that was repealed, did not stay locally.
It did not stay locally.
So how can you assure Valley Center residents that this money will stay local?
It's a part of the ordinance that the vote of the people are going to actually vote for themselves. And 2/3 of the community have to vote this tax in. This Measure SS has to be voted by 2/3. So we really feel strongly that our community should have a say when local government or even state government is going to apply a fee or a tax on them. And so we're reaching out to the community and saying, look, you're going to have a choice in this, and we hope that you choose to support your local fire department and help it grow as the community grows.
So I've heard about the new fire station that would be built up on Colgrade.
Correct.
What do you say to the people around Valley Center that maybe live in another part of town and think, well, it doesn't matter to me because I don't live along Colgrade?
So we're talking about reliability to the community, and right now with 2 fire stations that we operate 24/7, 365 with emergency services, paramedic services, and fire services. Right now we're about 75% reliable to the community. What does that mean? That means that 25% of the time those 2 stations are running calls for service, and we're relying on our neighbors to come and serve our community from a distance, which affects our response times. So if you're having a heart attack, a stroke, or if you're involved in a traffic accident and you're bleeding, help is coming from a great distance when those 2 fire stations are empty. The 3rd fire station gets us to about 95% reliability to the community. Okay. And we've done a study. We had a company called Citygate and Associates, a third party, come in and pull all of our data, all of our response data, and look at our response times, and then look at our reliability to the community. And that study shows that we need a 3rd fire station, and it shows exactly where we need that fire station, which is at Colgrade and Colgrade Lane, because the density of that neighborhood out there and calls for service that are occurring out there is a little bit more than the rest of the community.
So it's right by Cool Valley for people that might not know where that is.
Right.
What about the people that want to talk about the CAL FIRE station on Vesper as being our 3rd station? Can you explain a little bit about how that works?
Absolutely. We have a great relationship with CAL FIRE, and they run calls with us. When those calls are occurring in and around their station, medical calls from May to December. So that station is a seasonal station. It's staffed with highly qualified people that run on a brush fire fighting apparatus that also has a little bit of structural capability as well and rescue capability to assist us. They have fire EMTs, not paramedics, so they provide basic life support services out of that station. And again, that station is a seasonal station and only operates about 9 months out of the year. We enjoy our relationship. They're highly professional. We integrate with training with them, and it's great. But it's not rated by the Insurance Services Office as a part of our rating in order to keep insurance rates low. And so by adding that third fire station, our insurance rates, especially for those people that live in and around that fire station, are going to be reduced about 30 to 40%.
Does it help people all across town with their insurance rates by just adding that station and therefore the response time being quicker, or not really?
So that has to be measured again. So we go to the Insurance Services Office, ISO, and it's how insurance companies write insurance plans. They look at the ability for the fire department and the water district and communications and a wide variety of things, and that equates to a grade. And that insurance grade goes to rates.
Okay.
And so the lower insurance ISO rating you have, the better commercial and residential insurance rates you get. And so once that fire station is up and operational, we're going to go back out to the ISO and get re-rated, and we're hoping to get a rating of 2 with the personnel in that station, the equipment, and everything else that needs to happen. We'll see an immediate reduction in insurance rates for those people, up to 30 to 40%, once the fire station goes in. And then once the grade comes back, we're hoping that the entire populace and commercial populace within Valley Center will see some lower insurance rates as well.
Well, that would be great. I've seen those estimates too from some of our local insurance providers, and it is a big impact.
It is.
To those. So the rest of us who don't live near the high school hope that we'll end up with a slightly lower rate as well. Something else I've heard about is that our firefighters don't make much over minimum wage.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
So this would help in that regard as well?
Absolutely. So what we're hoping is to use a formulary that combines developer fees and CFD funding in order to build the facilities and buy equipment, and use the Measure SS funding to actually fill the fire station with firefighters that have a living wage, who are benefited because our firefighters don't have any health care benefits, they don't have a retirement, and so we're going to be looking at a 401k or a 403b retirement system that we're going to contribute to. And nobody at the Valley Center Fire Protection District right now enjoys any benefits whatsoever as far as health care or retirement, and so everybody else also will enjoy that as well. What that will do for us is it will help retain quality people. It'll help us with our succession plan as well. So our succession plan is high school students come into our Explorer post, and they learn how to be a firefighter, and they learn how to live in a fire station, and then they go to the fire academy and they come back to us and they join our ranks of firefighter in our reserve program, which are part-time firefighters that come and service the community. And then when an opening happens at the firefighter rank, then they can succeed into that process, and then engineer, and then fire captain, and then eventually maybe we'll have somebody local in Valley Center who grew up in Valley Center become the fire chief, and that's what our dream is.
Well, that would be so neat. I've heard it said that we're like a training station almost, that they start with us and they gain really good experience, and then, you know, of course, they need to support their families and whatever, and they end up moving to other stations throughout the county.
It is true. That's exactly true, although I would never insult any of our professional firefighters. They have the same education as our surrounding neighbors. They all have graduated from a 380-hour certified, federally and state certified fire academy. They've all graduated from either Palomar College or some other paramedic program or EMT program. They hold state licenses and certifications in that. So really they're no different than the firefighter that's right next door at Escondido doing the same dangerous job for a minimum wage or just $1 above minimum wage.
Right. And I certainly did not mean to demean them, because I have to say, in this town, we love our firefighters. Anybody that's been here through one of the big fires, or anybody that's had to dial 911 for an emergency call of any type. I mean, it's on Facebook all the time. Shout outs to our first responders. They are just awesome.
Right.
We really do love them, and we wish that we could really support them and yet support ourselves too, by having the funds available to benefit all of us.
I appreciate that, and I know they do too, and they really appreciate the community support on a wide variety of media that we get, and we even get handwritten thank you letters from time to time that I share with our board of directors, and everybody is really, really proud of the job that we're doing and the expanded services that we've been able to provide for the last 4 or so years. Expansions in community risk reduction and adoption of school programs where we're going and reading to kids and doing fire drills, and even more advanced community risk reduction programs where we're partnering with the Sheriff's Department in active shooter programs and evacuation programs. It's really, really important that everybody understands that we are, with the 2 stations and the people that we have, we're doing the absolute most we can. But as this community grows and it's getting ready, we're right on the precipice of big growth that's coming. We need to be ready for that and keep pace with that.
Right.
And Measure SS is going to help us keep pace with that into perpetuity.
So to the people that feel like with the new houses coming in, the developer there and all of those new homeowners should pay the fee, but somehow, having been in Valley Center for some number of years, maybe we should all be exempt from it.
I understand that.
How would you talk to those people?
Well, what I will say, and what I really want to make sure that everybody, especially in the real estate industry, needs to know is that all of that development that's coming in is going to be supporting community emergency services at a higher rate than if you've been here for 20 years. Although the $180 is going to be equally shared with everybody.
Right.
And so we believe that the $180 to support fire services for everybody is fair and equitable. And then the new development that comes in and the new people that are coming into Valley Center who are going to be moving into those new properties and those new homes, they're going to be taxed at a little bit higher rate. They're going to have to pay a CFD fee in order to help build and maintain those facilities forever and ever. And that's really important for people to know, is that those facilities are going to be maintained now into the future in this formulary.
Yeah, because even living off Fruitvale, where I live, certainly, the fire station down by the high school would not benefit me directly, although certainly if the other stations are out, it would. But aren't the majority of calls that you get more health emergencies, traffic accidents, all of those things? Hopefully we don't have that many fires this season coming up. So then it does benefit me. If I or someone in my family has a medical emergency, if the response time is going to be that much quicker, then of course it's going to help. Can you tell us about the times right now versus what you anticipate it to be?
Sure. So the times right now, travel time from Fire Station 1, say to your house.
And Fire Station 1 is
on the corner of Lilac and Valley Center Road.
Okay.
So from that station, for paramedics to respond to your house, if somebody at your house is having a heart attack or a stroke, or if there's a car accident on Fruitvale right by your house, that response time is right in the neighborhood of about 8 minutes and 30 seconds to 9 minutes travel time, depending on traffic, depending on a wide variety of things. We add the fire station at Coal Grade and Coal Grade Lane, and that cuts that travel time, response time to your house down to about 5 minutes. That makes a big difference when you're talking about cardiac injury, you're talking about a heart attack. Time is muscle.
Right.
In brain, in a stroke, time is tissue, brain tissue, and the further that person, longer that they have to wait for that help to arrive. And in the major trauma, if they're bleeding, the more bleeding that occurs, we need to be there as quickly as we possibly can. Now let's go back to reliability. If those 2 stations are running calls and that third call comes in at your house, we have a third station to actually run that call to make sure that we're reliable in that 95th percentile. And those simultaneous calls, the third call coming in, is not as often. And so we're more reliable to the community with 3 stations. We have more effective response to fires because we have 15 firefighters and a chief officer arriving to fight that fire, to keep it small, to keep it from growing if it's a vegetation fire, to keep it within the room and contents if it's at a house. And so that 3rd fire station does a lot more than just reduce response times. It increases reliability as well.
Okay. Is there anything else that you think people should know about the measure coming up in November? Any other questions that you've heard repeatedly? Anything we haven't touched on?
I don't think so. I think that our community understands what we're about. I think that our community understands that we're a great partner within the community, that we have great relationships with our surrounding tribal agencies and CAL FIRE. We run calls together, we train together, we break bread together, we celebrate great times, and we're sorrowful. CAL FIRE's had a really tough year this year. They've lost some firefighters in Northern California at fires, and we're saddened by that as well. So as a fire family, we're doing our best at the community level to respond to the community's needs. The Valley Center Fire Protection District is Valley Center's fire department. They're their all-risk responder, and we need to be able to answer the call at all levels. We are the Department of Quality of Life for Valley Center 365 days a year. And if you have a snake in your yard, if your water heater breaks at 2 o'clock in the morning and you don't have anybody else to call, you're going to call us and we're going to come, we're going to help you mitigate that issue and fix it and then refer you to somebody, and we'll be there with a smile. I have a great story to share. Our team went to somebody's house on a medical call and they were right in the middle of cooking dinner. Oh. And our guys took care of the medical call, they sent the patient to the hospital, and there was a number of family members at the house. And they finished cooking dinner for the family. They did the dishes, they cleaned the house, and then they went back into service at the fire station. Now they did all of that from the house, ready to take the next 911 call that didn't come in.
Right.
But those are the things that make me proud that we're a community fire department and that we're connected.
Yes, and I heard about that one, and on Facebook I'm always amazed by the stories that come out, because you know, any other city that you go to, if you mention that the fire department came out and got a snake out or finished cooking the dinner or any of the many things that our fire department has done for the citizens of Valley Center over the years, everybody else is amazed at the level of service that we get. So I want to tell our viewers that I know that you're very open to questions. If anyone has any concerns, questions, anything that they want to know about it, can they call you?
Absolutely.
Do you want to put your phone number out there for them to call? Or
Absolutely. If they have any questions, they can call the station at 760-751-7600.
Okay.
They can call our campaign manager if they have specific questions about Measure SS, and that's Phil Bell. And they can reach him at 760-638-0360. And any questions whatsoever, we're completely transparent. We post our budget online monthly, and everything that's going on with our budget in public meetings. We meet the 3rd Thursday of the month. Okay. At the Water District, and anybody can come and join us at those meetings, and we're happy to host anybody.
There you go. Well, I certainly appreciate all of your thoughts today and the transparency over the measure that's coming up and the fire station. So please get all the information that you need to make an informed decision. As residents of Valley Center, I greatly encourage you, reach out to me with any questions with a video, or contact Joe or Phil. I know that they will get the answers for you right away. So I'm Diane Conaway, signing off. Thank you for being with us today.
Have a wonderful day.